We were filming in this farm that had a wood in it, dressed with all of the carts and the homes and everything.
All of the armour that we wore was just of such beauty and detail.
I love calligraphy.
Roman holiday. I love Audrey Hepburn and anything.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Hi, David.
Hi. Hello.
Thank you for hanging out with me today.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Of course. So I want to start out, Nazanin. The orcs in this series are largely created with practical effects and prosthetics. And I was wondering what it's like acting opposite one of those creatures.
I am in awe. They spent the most time in the makeup chair. I believe it was 8 hours. And once they were in the costumes, I can attest to the fact that they could do very little, meaning they couldn't eat, go to the bathroom. I think there was room to maybe drink some water out of a straw. And on one occasion, I saw an orc that was spilling water out of his costume. And I said, are you rigged to spill water everywhere you go? And he said, oh, no, this is just my sweat. That was because he's covered in latex. So he was literally pouring, and I mean pouring, water on the ground. So that tells you the level of dedication that these actors had to the role, and extremely scary looking, very lifelike.
Yes. Terrifying.
Yeah.
Lloyd, your character plays a huge part in Tolkien's book, but didn't get as much love in the films. So wondering, are you excited to finally give him his time in the spotlight?
I certainly am. Also because he is firmly in the hearts of the Tolkien fans who know of him. He's a hero archetype, but actually we know very, very little about him. And indeed, I'm not the first visual actor to be faced, but my voice will be the first time we've heard Elendil, because that's not there in the movies. But Tolkien it's sparse what we actually know about him. There are these little signposts along the way, and we have to get him from where we start him in the series to leading the last alliance of elves and men and becoming this king, this self-sacrificial hero. I'm really excited to open this character up, and he's certainly starting in quite a tricky position.
Charles, first of all, I want to say that I assumed that your character's hair was a wig, but you have just as beautiful a head of hair as your character does in the show.
I've been admiring it.
Thank you very much for saying so. It's not a wig, and it is this length now because I've been told I have to keep growing it.
Wow.
I think this is, looking at your hair, I think this is people just loving each other about the nice hair, right?
I was really just fishing for compliments. So
You got it.
I know.
Gorgeous.
You got it.
But no, Charles, your character is an elven blacksmith, which is kind of a rare trade these days to be a blacksmith. And it made me wonder if you have a rare or unusual skill or talent that not many people know about.
Well, I do, actually, that has served me well on this show. I love calligraphy and working with a pen and Indian ink. I do cartoons. I love to do lettering, and just so happens that we will see Celebrimbor making some notes.
That's amazing.
So I will have the opportunity to and some often on set they go, no, we'll get the guy in, the actual professional guy to come and do it for you. I'm going to be going, no, I want to do this.
Yeah.
They'll get the guy in the end, of course, because I'll screw it up. But at least I'll be
In the moment, it's you. Yeah.
But so yes, in answer to your question, yes, and it paid off.
That's amazing. Megan, Poppy is a Harfoot.
Yes.
Is a group of Harfoots Harfeet?
Nice.
No, it's Harfoots. You got it right the first time.
Okay.
Foots all the way. Yeah.
I'm so amazed by the set of where the Harfoots live, their little village there, and all practical or mostly practical. And I wondered, what was the coolest little detail you saw on that set?
I'm not sure if it was little. We were filming in this, it was basically a farm that had a wood in it, and they dressed it with all of the carts and the homes and the encampment and the fires and everything. That wood was a clearing. Like, they put trees in to make it a wood. I actually met the tree guy, Jarl, at the very beginning of like on one of my first days there. And he was just in his tree workshop building, like just making these trees. And I remember saying to him, I was like, what are you doing now? And he was like, oh, we're making this forest. And I was like, how many trees do you have to make? And he was like, oh, about 100. And I was like, when do you have to do this by? And he was like, oh, in like, a couple of weeks. I was literally absolutely gobsmacked.
Wow. Nazanin, what was the movie or TV show that made you want to be an actor?
Oh, gosh. I mean, films, I can tell you, like, I love the 1944 film Gaslight. I love... yeah, isn't it great? Yeah. I love Roman Holiday. Those are the films that were like, oh, this makes me want to transport people just like I was transported.
In shows and movies like this, we talk a lot about how heavy and burdensome the wardrobes are. Lloyd, I'm curious, what was the part of your wardrobe that you liked the most?
First of all, I've got to answer. I want this question. So
you can have it. Take it.
Poor Michael Glazer in Starsky and Hutch. And if we're talking costume, his cardigan. That sort of knit. Yeah. I don't know if you remember that knitted cardigan
very well.
Anyway, that's another thing.
He made you want to be an actor?
Oh yeah, I want to jump over a car with a gun, a red and white striped car in that cardigan. Anyway, that aside, the costume. So Kate Hawley, who we just bow down to, her absolute genius.
Yeah.
And I must have had about 6 or 7 costume fittings. I think I'm in single figures. I think some of the women in this company had more than that. But her attention to detail, the level of work, the artistry from everyone in all of those departments, that's replicated through the set. All of the armor that we wore was just of such beauty and detail that once you had it on, you were in. I mean, that was so easy to become Elendil.
One of the really incredible levels of detail from Kate was every Harfoot costume has some sort of apple seeds on them. And the apple seeds represent all of the past Harfoots who have passed away from previous migrations. And some of the sort of elder generation have them like splattered all over their chests just to show the history of how much they've seen and how much they've lived and been through, and how much they've survived as well. And some of the younger generation have like 1 or 2, and it's really beautiful.
It's lovely, that.
Yeah.
I would want that costume. It looks so comfortable.
It was very
like pajamas, basically.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Breezy. It's lovely.
Last question. Lloyd, you already kind of answered this, but I was curious who you fantasized about being when you were young.
Oh, that's a brilliant question. From Lord of the Rings specifically? Or
anything.
Anything.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously Michael Glazer in a cardigan. I'll pass on.
I mean,
just the cardigan, obviously. Yeah.
Audrey Hepburn and anything.
I think for me, it was probably C-3PO.
Amazing.
I wanted to be him.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some sort of cartoon, maybe a Disney Aladdin.
Nice.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I think I'd quite like to be Aladdin.
Thank you so much for your
quickly,
time.
sorry, because it's been in my head and I've got to get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Collective noun for Harfoot has to be a caravan of Harfoots, right? Would you not say?
Yeah, but yeah.
Caravan of Harfoots.
Harfoot.
The collective noun.
The collective noun. Yes. They are a caravan. Yes.
Sorry.
A caravan of Harfoot.
But what I was going to say, I thought Lloyd was going to say, is what's the poster behind you?
Oh.
That one there, that is, they came from beyond space. It's an old, like, 60s, 50s. Nice. I just love old movie art.
And also, who's on, is those cushions? Why can't I almost see Lloyd?
It's
in the bottom corner.
It's Nick Cage.
Oh, no, the next one. I think it's...
Oh, that's Keanu Reeves.
Oh, that's amazing. I was like, is that Lloyd? Yeah.
If you've got David Soul in there, I'm not interested.
If you want to send me a sequin Lloyd pillow, I'll add it to the collection.
Okay, it's on the way.
You know what? That'll happen as well.
It will happen, yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
My brother gave his life hunting the enemy. His task is now mine. Speak your truth. We already know. Stand with me. Ours was no chance meeting. Such a night not fate, nor destiny. Ours was the work of something greater.
Each of us, every one, must decide who we shall be.
I am not the hero you seek.
Whatever it was you did, be free of it.
One day this will be your kingdom.
Raise your sail and then let go.
Choose not the path of fear, but that of faith.
One thing we can do, better than any creature in all Middle-earth, we stay true to each other with our hearts even bigger than our feet.
We can survive this. You and I.
Commander! Wait! No! We keep moving!
Why do you keep fighting?
There is a tempest in me.
You have fought long enough, Galadriel. Put up your sword.
Without it, what am I to be?